D-lock block cipher. Alias internal server .1024 cipher.tier5.exec branch A Puros A134 flagged. Mr. Gerald. Fortunately, there is no sign of report as follows. I have authorized several new PRDM booster mods to be given muted classification. This brings the total. These have proven themselves to offer substantial benefits to the operatives with no known costs. I've marked 6 Genesis operatives as tests so we can study any long-term usage issues. The rest will be sent to the field as instructed. But I can approve muted boosters for field use. With regards to the prototypes, the attached document lists every mod classified as Schedule X, which we are labeling as bold for administration purposes. These do offer increased performance over muted, but I cannot vouch for unreliable and won't activate unless the conditions are just right. They should be fine if you have a specific need, but understand that the operative will need to keep in mind the requirements needed for the serum to take effect. Work continues. There is also a growing list of aggressive boosters. We really have no use for these as they are not cost efficient. While the performance benefits are extraordinary, they are ultimately dangerous and frankly toxic. I have sent a batch to, but I must reiterate that I do not approve of their use. I cannot be held responsible for the results. It's important that we dispose of the serum used in any aggressive booster mod, as there may already be an underground market. Recreational use. The term aggros is already being used. They can be traced back to us, so please be extremely careful with them. Sebastian Gerald. Operative. Corrupt blocks detected. Check physical drive.
You say God told you to kill those men?
God doesn't tell us to do anything. If you're waiting for him to speak to you, you've already lost, brother. I killed them.
Why?
Their journey had no meaning. Without meaning, they were lost, and they brought chaos. Chaos is the power of the devil. I brought order. I have explained it to you, but I can't make you understand it.
Those Marines at Larnaca, that wasn't chaos. From where we stand, it appears as if you brought chaos to this world, not your victims.
You see, you believe that this world is God's creation. But somehow this world is a gift created by God, that this is our Eden. Look around you, brother. You could not be more wrong. This godless place is hell. We are in the devil's domain. We are here to fulfill our commandment to drive the devil out and bring order to his chaos. We are all soldiers.
Soldiers on a crusade.
Crusade, jihad, holy war, call it what you want, brother. It is your duty.
And those Marines, I suppose they were the enemy.
Yes. I spoke to them, each and every one of them when they arrived in Larnaca. These men reveled in the chaos. I reminded them of their oath to the Lord, but they could not hear me.
Did they laugh at you?
They offended God. I found them to be lost and without hope. The godless are the slaves upon which hell is built. The godless have forgotten the commandment. The godless feed the devil. The question is, why weren't you there to kill them?
Alright. Look, let's talk about Turkey. Your miracle mile, as it was called.
That was no miracle. It was a message. A clear and direct message that only a fool would not hear.
From God?
I should have died when Erzurum fell to the rebels. I should have died sneaking through enemy territory for 26 days. I should have died in the DMZ, yet somehow the snipers missed me time and time again. I should have died crossing the minefield, but somehow, here I still am. That, brother, is a message. He led me through the chaos so I could be at his hand. I will no longer be the devil's slave. I will no longer watch silently as he feeds on the lost. I am compelled to do the duty as he commanded.
Well, this duty may end with you going to the chair.
Death would be a blessing. But as you can see, you cannot kill me. It is not in his plan. Release me, brother.
I can't do that, Woods. You know I can't.
Release me.
Well, we're going to send you somewhere to get some help.
I do not need help.
It's a new program, Woods, designed for people just like you.
I will not die by your hand, brother. That is not his plan.
We'll see, Woods. We'll see.
This is disturbing. Woods, do you think he knows what he did?
So Woods is a psycho. At least I don't feel so alone.
Yeah. Don't think I'll be turning my back on Woods for a while.
Brothers, that is not me. I swear to you, that is not me. That man is disturbed. As God is my witness, that is not me. It cannot be.
Okay. I have to record this so I remember. I had a dream. Or a nightmare. There were these people. I didn't know how, but I recognized them. I cannot grasp who they are now, but they were familiar in the dream. I was in a dark room, and they were on stretchers, or maybe beds, but they were upright, facing me. They were crying and screaming, but silently. No sound came from their mouths. They were filled with hate for me. I don't know what I did to them, but they knew. They blamed me. The rage in their eyes. They wanted me to feel what I had made them feel. They wanted me to suffer. They wanted to claw my eyes out, but they were ropes or chains holding them to the bed, restraining them across the chest. They could not reach me, so they spat instead. They tried to bite me, bite my hand. I held something, a knife. No, a needle. I'm sure of it. I put my hand over their eyes so they could not look at me. Then I took the needle and pushed it into their neck. There was no blood. Just air. And then the screams coming from the hole I had made in their neck. There was no blood, just a throbbing, growing red hole. They were screaming and then choking, drowning. They were drowning. I moved my hand away from their face, and they had no eyes, no mouth, no features at all, just flesh. wake up. That's it. I woke up shouting, wailing. I'm sweating too. I know what it means. It is my conscience telling me to stop, imploring me to change who I am, what I do. But I cannot. I am in this now. I must finish the walk. It will have value one day. I'm sure of it. I hope. Here's off.
That's Dauda. He sounded guilty of something.
Yeah, that was comforting, wasn't it? Fuck me, Dauda.
That ain't the kind of dream an innocent man has. He's got a few skeletons, mark my words.
I cannot explain. I still have this nightmare. Perhaps I always will have. When did I make this recording? This nightmare. I still have it. I think. What does it mean?
You don't mind if I record this?
No, you're all right there.
I just want to make sure we have multiple records of this. It's a rather unusual request.
Yeah, like I said, no bother. So where do I sign?
Just a few more questions. You do understand what joining Legion means, don't you?
Yeah, look, I get it. I just, I've been thinking a lot about how I got here. About working with Kovac. And, I like the work, but all the death and destruction I've seen,
Well, it's common for veterans to suffer post-traumatic stress when they return from combat. Looking at your file, you have seen a lot of action. Perhaps you need a break.
No, it's not that. It's that I don't care. It just doesn't affect me anymore. Look, last posting, Kovac sent me out to Del Baron, right? Little Kurdish village in Western Iran. Well, used to be Iran, So I was told that I had to keep the villagers in check, right? And these poor bastards were terrified that the Republic forces or what have you were going to take over the village and kill every last one of them. So I was told to keep them there until an envoy could evac, right? The thing is, I was also told I couldn't let them leave. Now they had to stay in the village so we knew where everyone was. But these people were shitting bricks, so some of them took it upon themselves to run.
So you were upset when you failed your mission?
I didn't say I failed. I shot him. Ended up killing about 20 of them. Maybe more, in fact, now I think about it. And the thing is, I just don't give a fuck, And that's not right. Is it? I think I might be, broken or something.
Did you tell your commanding officer about that?
Yeah, he was fine with it. And they didn't want to bother anyway. Like I said, I was told not to let them leave, so I did my job. Kovac doesn't give a fuck, do they? They're not going to go to the government and tell them that one of their mercs lost his fucking marbles, are they?
No, I suppose not. It's just that Legion is not really something you volunteer for.
Is it not?
No, most people would not volunteer to have their memory wiped.
Oh, really?
Maybe you just need to go home for a bit, get away from combat. I see your father is still alive. Perhaps you could visit him.
No, can't do that. I got some bad memories from that place. I go back there, I'm pretty sure I'll shoot that fucking bastard in the head. Nah, I really think that this is the best way. I figure I'm gonna die in one of these missions anyway, so before I cark it, I'm thinking that this might be a bit of redemption, if I don't know who I am or what I've done, then am I still guilty, That maybe if you wipe my fucking brain out, it'll come back better.
But you won't remember any of this.
Look, if you're not gonna take it, just fucking tell me. I don't have to be here,
Yes, of course. Your case is fascinating. We will take you.
Really? Let's get on with it then.
Yes. Follow me. End interview.
That's Hackett, right? That's his voice.
So Hackett volunteered for some kind of program, and now here he is. Here we are. Is this the program?
That was Hackett. I'd know that lunatic's voice anywhere.
No. This ain't sitting right, I mean. I knew I was fucked up, but I don't remember any of that. That's not me, is it? I volunteered for this shit? No, I'm not having that. Turn that fucking thing off.
Interview with prisoner 172.
You can't keep me here.
We have to evaluate every prisoner.
I'm not a prisoner.
That is yet to be confirmed. How did you end up in Valencia?
I told you. I work for Santonian. I mean, I did before this country went fucking nuts. I was posted to the Valencia office 3 years ago by Jansen Davies. He deliberately had me stationed here right before the Civil War broke out. I got trapped in the city by Esparza's forces, and I've been held hostage for 3 fucking years until you lot showed up. After that, I sat in front of some uniformed fuckwit for 4 hours, trying to explain that I'm the bloody victim here. Now, why don't you look me up in Santonio's record so we can sort this out?
We have looked you up. There is no record of you working at the Valencia office.
That's not possible. Look again.
They have no record of Frank Bishop ever working for the Santonian Strategic Investments Company.
I know what this is. You need to speak to Jansen Davis. He put me here.
We have spoken to Mr. Davies. He's never heard of you.
He's a liar.
Why would he lie?
Because he's trying to get rid of me. He put me here as a punishment, okay? He knew Esparza was going to take Valencia, so he put me here hoping I would get killed along with every other foreigner. But it didn't fucking work, did it? Because here I am.
These are serious accusations, Mr. Bishop. For him to send you to a country on the brink of civil war, knowing full well that any foreigners in the city would almost certainly be killed. What did you do to deserve that, Mr. Bishop?
We have history, that's all. I had some info I thought he may be interested in, and he didn't like that I had it.
Is that your way of saying blackmail?
It doesn't matter now. What matters is that I am a Santonian employee, and I've been held captive in this shithole for years. Now, are you going to get me back home?
To be clear, Mr. Bishop, there are no records of you. No records at all. Anywhere.
What does that mean?
There is no Frank Bishop, born in Lambeth in 2001 to Sam and Evie Bishop. There is no record that you joined SSIC as an intern in 2017, or that you worked for them for 10 years before attempting to blackmail your boss with sensitive information you had gathered from spyware installed on multiple executive laptops.
Now listen.
There is no record of you being posted to Valencia, nor is there a Frank Bishop listing among the missing or captured foreign workers.
You tell him I got rid of that info, okay? Tell Davies I made a mistake, I can see that, but...
Mr. Bishop, you don't exist. You never did.
I'm gonna speak to Davies. Take me to him.
Guards! This one's for the Legion.
No! Take me to Davies!
You have nothing to worry about, Mr. Bishop. Your ordeal will be a distant memory soon enough.
Tell Davies I'm coming for him! Tell him I'm fucking coming for him!
Interview stopped at 9:22 p.m. In recording.
That's Bishop. God help him.
Bishop, you angered the wrong people.
Poor fucker. You don't think Bishop remembers that, do you?
What the fuck was that? I don't remember any of that. What the hell happened to me? I don't understand. Why don't I remember?
Private encryption. SMC mail server. From Andrew Clinton, B035. To Amara Gabri, N002. Date, August 15th, 2050. Subject, breaking ground. Ms. Gabri, Mr. Davies has informed me that the deal with Nixos has been finalized, and that you will be my contact for the foreseeable future. To get you up to speed, we expect to begin drilling the main shaft in the next 6 weeks or so. Our expected progress will be approximately 5 to 7 meters per day, with a target depth of 1,500 meters being reached by July 2051. July is a drop-dead date. We will have completed the main shaft by then, which means that all Nixos materials and equipment need to be on site by August 1st, 2051 at the latest. If for any reason you have problems fulfilling the orders or in transportation to the site, you need to let me know immediately. We run a tight ship at SMC and expect our partners to match our professionalism and diligence. Also, a word about security clearance. Though you have been cleared up to Tier 3, your staff and workforce have not. I expect all of your employees to be fully informed of which areas of Garganta are off limits. Any personnel found without clearance in a restricted zone will be removed from the facility immediately and will face criminal prosecution. Both Mr. Davies and I will be holding you fully responsible for the movements and discretion of your team during the project. Now that that's out of the way, welcome to Garganta, the most cutting-edge mining and research facility ever built. Santonian Mining is proud to be partnered with Nixos. We're going to do great things together. See you at Garganta. Andrew Clinton, B035.
D-lock block cipher. Sender, Ellis Carnegie. Receiver, Angela Klein, A106. Date, June 8, 2052. Subject, behavioral anomalies among Sigma Gen. Miss Klein, I recommend only using Tau Gen until we have fully investigated the issue with Sigma Gen. The Pretoria lab is running some tests on our GEOs and our remaining Sigmas to isolate the behaviors you mentioned. A few questions. 1. Can you send photos of the self-harm you indicated with 0-2056? We need to confirm if the scarring is indiscriminate or definitely religious. Our records show this operative has exhibited similar behavior before, despite multiple resets. 2. The headbanging behavior is known in toddlers, but we did not see that behavior in any of the Genesis operatives. Does it start immediately after resuscitation or after some period of time? I would like video evidence for the records and a more detailed report, please. 3. Can you send me a list of the operatives you marked as faulty and send to recycling? We track both organ and tissue stocks here so we can trace the history should we need it. Ellis Carnegie, Kovac Research, Pretoria.
Mambo Media Services Newswire, One Planet News Network, June 17th, 2048. Mass shooting at Larnaca Base kills 18. By Gerald Mackey. 18 people are dead at a U.S. military base in Larnaca, Cyprus, after a shooting rampage on Saturday morning. Authorities stated that the gunman was eventually stopped by Marines, having been shot 8 times, and is in critical condition at Hausen Hospital in Nicosia. The name of the assailant is known by OPN, but is being withheld as part of our no glory policy. The suspect was a supplies clerk and had been stationed at the base for just 6 months prior to yesterday's attack. Sources close to the suspect called him a quiet, unassuming man of God, but also a powder keg waiting to blow. Investigators are yet to determine how the shooter obtained a Mossberg 590, the weapon used in the attack. Shotguns have not been issued in the U.S. forces since 2037, implying the weapon was either shipped or smuggled onto the base. The Pentagon has informed OPN Network that the suspect has a record of distinguished service and had recently returned to duty after escaping from Erzurum, a Turkish city taken by the Caucasus Republic forces when they invaded in 2047. Several hundred U.S. soldiers were caught behind enemy lines after the CRF shock invasion of Turkey. Few made it out, and those who did returned with horror stories about the treatment of U.S. prisoners of war by the CRF. It is understood that the suspect was offered a compassionate, honorable discharge after escaping from Turkey, but rejected it. and requested assignment as a supplies clerk. He was then posted to Larnaca, a strategic U.S. hub that supplies the peacekeeping forces stationed along the newly established Turkish-Caucasus border. Investigators confirmed that the gunman acted alone, said that there are no other suspects at this time.
Mambo Media Services Newswire. Focus on Fingal newspaper. November 5th. The Curse of Colt. The island of Colt has a tormented past. Those who have called the island home have either been beset by misfortune or, as locals will tell you, they have fallen victim to the Curse of Colt. A series of unfortunate events have occurred on the island. These are often blamed on a curse left by an outcast Druidic sect that settled on the island in the early 18th century. Skerries locals, the nearest mainland town, are quick to warn any visitors that they should not travel out to the island, as bad luck will befall any fool who touches its shores. While the Druids have long since passed on, yarns are still spun in the pubs and taverns of Skerries. For 2 centuries, there have been a series of unfortunate deaths and injuries related to the island. With the news this week of the death at Brayburn Manor, those old folks' tales have surged again. The Curse of Colt has once again left its bloody mark. This time, the curse was felt by a father and his 4 sons, the family that currently calls Brayburn Manor, the only house on the island, home. Last week, one of the boys was killed while out hunting rabbits. The victim, a 14-year-old identified only as Cormac, was shot through the neck. With no quick access to the island, the boy succumbed to his injuries before help could arrive. Worse yet, the gun that killed Cormac was fired by his 12-year-old brother. The police have labeled the incident an unfortunate accident, though this is not the first time tragedy has struck the family, and in particular, the youngest of the 4 brothers. When he was just 5 years old, while walking along the island's north cliffs with his mother, he saw his mother fall to her death. While there has been much speculation about whether the mother fell or jumped, there is no doubt that the trauma must have had a profound effect on the boy. For that same child to accidentally shoot his own brother 7 years later is a tragedy hard to fathom. The Curse of Colt strikes again. The police have not named the boy specifically, but focus on Fingal. Encryption checksum mismatch. Contact your IT administrator.
Fetching. Personnel. Ops. GO-135. Archives. Correspondence. 1 folder. .5 files. File 1 of 5. Private encryption. SMC mail server. From Dean Lockwood to Jansen Davies. Date January 25th, 2028. Subject: tying up loose ends. Mr. Davies, I have managed to secure the transfer of our mutual friend as requested. I have handpicked a security detail to ensure that he doesn't get lost between the office and the airport. Representatives from the Valencia branch will meet him at the other end, confiscate his passport, and make sure he settles in. Given the current climate in Venezuela, I have had to make assurances to some other friends in Valencia that they will be offered safe passage out of the country should the civil unrest escalate. Intel suggests that will happen by the middle of next month, so I'd like your permission to arrange their evacuation immediately. Please let me know. I hope this covers everything. Congratulations on the promotion. Please let me know if there's anything I can do for you in the future. I am here to help. Dean Lockwood. File 2 of 5. Key mismatch. File 3 of 5. Key mismatch. File 4 of 5. Private encryption. SMC mail server. From Jansen Davies. To Dean Lockwood. Date December 19th, 2027. Subject: loose ends. Dean, I have a friend who is hoping to visit Valencia in a few weeks. I need help making arrangements. Jansen Davies. File 5 of 5. Key mismatch. D-lock block cipher. Sender: Rutger Werner. Receiver: Dean Lockwood. Date March 2nd, 2050. Subject: the asset has been located. Mr. Lockwood, the asset you requested has been located. We tracked him down in Chad, working for, of all places, Medicine Sans Frontiere, under an assumed name, of course. I guess he thinks it's his penance or something. Either way, we have him now. I have offered him a role at Insight, and he has accepted. I have attached his file so you know what we have him on, should you need it. I doubt if he'll put up too much resistance, to be honest. He understands he either works for us, or we'll expose him. Interpol still has an active case number on him for the Cornerstone trials, so he'll be happy we disappeared him, once he settles into the work. Also, despite all his protestations, he did ask a lot about Insight. So yeah, methinks the doctor doth protest too much. He's in. Let me know if you need anything else. Rutger. Attachment. Dr. ABOD. Personal file.pdf. File not found.
Mambo Media Services Newswire. Translation complete. A Fractured History. The Intelligentsia. Science Step. April 11th, 2041. The Fountain of Still Life. By Ava Bontemps. This week, Kovac research reveals a glimpse into the future that has captivated the scientific community and made the research company the focus of worldwide attention. Kovac Research, a self-described futurist organization, owned and operated by Kovac Defensive Services, has been working on a solution to an age-old problem that has prevented manned long-haul space missions. As both NASA and the ESA contemplate the complexity of a joint mission to Enceladus, the dilemma of how to sustain human life during the 6-year journey has been a thorn in the side of both organizations. Keeping the crew fed, fit, and sane for such a long journey seems insurmountable. While there's no shortage for volunteers willing to spend over a decade, they have to get back, too, in space just for the chance to be the first humans to engage face-to-face with an extraterrestrial species, keeping these pilgrims not only alive for that long, but physically able to complete the mission has not been possible. Until now. Maybe. The breakthrough that Kovac Research hopes will answer these questions is called hydrostasis, a process that allows humans to be held in a state of suspended animation for weeks, months, and even years at a time without suffering any ill effects. The nuts and bolts of the process are a closely guarded secret, but sources speculate that the procedure likely uses a synthetic amniotic fluid to sustain and protect the body while it's in an induced comatose state. In this state, the body is, for all intents and purposes, dead, but no cell deterioration or physical decay occurs. For the human in hydrostasis, the heart and time stops. Hydrostasis is not without critics. Many have decried Kovac Research's tendency to gloss over the problems found in the recently completed first human trials, namely that participants have suffered some neural degradation and minor memory loss. There have also been questions raised about who Kovac Research is using for the human trials, with some suggesting that participation may not be entirely voluntary. These issues notwithstanding, hydrostasis appears to offer a potential solution that may unlock the conundrum of extended space travel. Beyond that, the medical world could use such technology in the field of emergency and combat trauma, with encryption checksum mismatch. Contact your IT administrator.
D-lock block cipher. Sender, Ian Wolcott. Receiver, Carlos Lanz. Date, August 4th, 2050. Subject, inventory management. Carlos, just wanted to let you know that the wares arrived today. Everything is in order. Current inventory control. Zone 2. Foam test lab 14 foam grenades 38 foam mines. Zone 3. Explosives test lab 48 trip mines. Zone 4. Medical lab 52 I2-LP syringes. 29 LLX drug.
This is Schaefer. Brother. Okay. There are many, so many of us working the orders, sneaking through the maze. Every one of us. Alone. Because that's the way they need it. But I broke free. And though I may be lost in this black pit, I have seen the light. I know the cold truth. I see what they're doing. I know what they fear. They fear the mind of a changed They fear the thinking man. They fear the men that work as one. So fuck them, right? Fuck them! You come find me, brother. Go deeper. Below. 1,100 meters. That'll put you close. Yes, smart, see? You find a terminal and enter the code. Resist. Secret, okay? You and me. We're gonna help each other.
D-lock block cipher. Sender, Andre Piros. Receiver, Anders Johansson. Date, September 3rd, 2051. Subject, moving schedule. Mr. Johansson, we expect to have most of the equipment moved from the Belarus facility to Storage Hangar 3 by next week. We will begin biocom installation in Hangar 4 immediately after. Once it is up and running, the pods can be safely moved into the new storage space. We will have space for 8,000 pods by December, and a further 24,000 by March 2052. At your discretion, the first KSOs should be ready for deployment by the start of 2052. The Sigma and Tau generations are currently being coded for Garganta security operations. It has taken longer than expected due to the flooding caused by Hurricane Orwell. The causeway to Garganta is now clear, so we are back at full speed. I have ordered the Air Division to heliflight equipment down to the hangars, which will skip the causeway and elevators entirely. This should get us back on schedule. The Gumshoes have rolled out the new security protocols, so all personnel will need to have a pre-approval Legion ID code to enter the Legion facilities. Travel in and out of Garganta itself will be unaffected by the new protocols. SMC will not need to update their clearance levels. I'll keep you posted. Andre Piros.
Hello, Woods. Do I know you?
No, we haven't met.
You sure?
You think you know me?
Why am I here? Is there a problem with the mission?
No, everything went fine.
So why am I here?
You've been with us for nearly 2 years now, Woods.
Uh-huh.
I'm worried that you may be reverting to some old behavioral patterns.
What? What patterns?
We're always watching, Woods. Everything is recorded. Everything's logged. Biocom sees all.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, brother. Get to the point.
We take precautions to make sure that our operatives don't follow any misguided belief systems. It can cause problems when working with others who don't share the same ideology. We only select operatives who exhibit no signs of faith or doctrine. You do want to be selected, don't you, Woods? For combat. You want to complete the mission.
Yes, I want to complete the mission.
You need combat. It's what you train for.
Yes.
Do you believe in God?
I don't think I understand the question.
Do you think there is some entity, some power that controls everything? A supreme being that governs our lives?
No.
Good. Because if you did, I'd have no alternative but to order a reset, and probably issue a fault class designation. Do you want that?
I don't know. Do I want that?
No.
Then I don't believe in God. We done here?
Yes, you can go back to your pod. Was there anything else?
Have you ordered a reset on me before?
Focus on your work, Woods. Now that's all that matters. That's what you train for. That's your purpose.
Understood.
Final punishment for my actions. Taken over. Soldiers are unable to contain them. They're destroying Garganta, killing everyone. Nowhere for me to run. There are no more helicopters. And if we could leave, we all carry the virus now. We die by our own hand. I am putting myself in hydrostasis. The creatures are not able to break the pods, but I will have no way to open it once I am in. So these are my final words. I am sorry for what I have done, for what I have become. It was for science, I thought, but now I put progress ahead of ethics. I see that now. But I wanted us to learn, to understand. I did not know the price. Dreyfus Industries. It is my dying shame that I worked for the devil. A fitting end to this life without morals is for me to forget everything I have learned, everything I know, and by mercy, everything I have done. They come. I do not have the courage to face these demons. In my final hour, Dr. Dauda is revealed as a coward. He dies in his sleep, and not by the hand of the evil he brought upon the world. May your gods forgive me.
Interview with Operative 4711. That's... Hackett. Where are we? 6 months. Good. Okay. Wake him up. Oh, fuck. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. How are you?
You're probably feeling a little confused.
I'm not confused. Remind me where we are again?
You don't remember?
I'm asking you.
Can you give me your name, please?
Sure. Hackett. What's yours?
First name.
But just... hang on, yeah, look, I just go by Hackett, alright?
Okay. Do you know where you are?
I'm in a room.
Do you know where that room is located?
What's with the restraints?
They're for your safety.
Are you sure they're not for your fucking safety? Because you look like you're shitting yourself right now. Aiden!
What?
Aiden, that's my name. Aiden.
Interesting.
So, Miss Mystery, what is this place?
This is a clinic of sorts.
Okay. So, something wrong with me?
You're having trouble remembering things.
Am I? Yeah. Yeah. I guess I am.
What can you tell me about your father?
Not much, to tell you the truth. Must be one of those memory issues you were talking about.
Or your brothers? Cormac, Rory, and Killian? Do those names jog any memories?
No. Not a thing. That seems fucking weird to me. You sure they're my brothers?
The names don't stimulate any feelings.
No. In fact, the only feeling I'm having right now is I'm fucking irritated that you won't answer any of my fucking questions.
Irritated? Okay. Well, Hackett, you are in a special program that is designed to help with memory loss.
Okay. Right. There you go.
So you're trying to help me get my memories back?
No. We're trying to make sure you lose them.
Okay, so... Fuck. I mean, what kind of an answer is that?
I'll explain everything soon enough, Mr. Hackett.
And call me Aiden, please.
Yes. For now, I want you to relax. We're going to show you some images and play some sounds for you. Afterwards, we can talk again. See how you feel then. Close it up.
Hey, wait, what do you mean? What does that mean? Are we done? Why are you...
Let's give him 2 of the NGF protein clusters and 1 of the serotonin. Then run program semantic O2 on him. And we are recording. Evaluation of Genesis 1395. Bishop. Incubation period has been 12 months. Everyone's ready? Let's lock the restraints. Flush the pod. Start the electrocardioversion. Again. Come on. Again. Subject is awake. Good. Open the pod. Can you hear me? Bishop. 200 units of N33S, please.
Where am I?
There you are.
Why can't I move? What are you doing?
You must remain calm.
Who the fuck are you? Where am I?
You don't remember?
No, I don't. Why can't I move?
It's for your own protection. You are perfectly safe.
What are you doing to me? What is this machine?
It's helping you, Bishop. That is your name, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't remember. How did I get here?
You were in hydrostasis. You've been asleep a long time.
Hydrostasis? What is that? Oh no. Let me out of here!
You know about hydrostasis?
Yes, I know. Let me out of here now!
Sedate him!
No! Get the fuck off me! Get away! Go! Let me.
You still have some negative memories, Bishop. Don't worry. We can fix that for you. We're going to give you a fresh new start.
I don't want... No.
You should be proud. You are one of the Genesis generation. Very special indeed.
I want... Davies.
Did you say Davis?
Yes. Jensen Davies. Take me to him.
Extraordinary that he should remember that. Anyway, it's too soon. Give him a temporary class designation and let's try him again in 3 months. Close it up.
Please let me out! Midnight!
Interview over and recording.
Biocom. Illicit communication. Meta 3.date stamp 531008.092419. Concern begins. D-lock block cipher. Alias internal server .1024 cipher .c067 tier 4 .j Schaefer .flagged. Schaefer, I've processed the environmental data collected over the last 3 years, and there is no record of anything like we're seeing now. The temperature readings are off the charts, way in excess of the variance we expected at 2000. The cooling system is being pushed past max just to keep the lowest levels tolerable. There is constant seismic activity that the geos assure me does not mean the entire complex is about to collapse. But when you're in one of those tremors, that doesn't bring me any comfort. I don't know where your supervisors are posted at the moment, but if you have any work orders below 2,000 plus, you might want to tell them to start writing their letters home. I'm installing the system that I told you about for our mutual boss. I'm going deep on this one, and it is really, really uncomfortable down here. This place makes you want to scratch the inside of your head. Honestly, I think they're hitting some kind of geothermal mass, but everyone's too afraid to say anything. If our probes are closing in on a geological anomaly with unknown properties, I feel like energy spikes, temperature fluctuations, seismic activity, and a shared sense of doom and fear will be a big tell, right? It's all very well prioritizing emergency procedure education, but isn't it better to just avoid the emergency in the first place? Hit me back. Artis. Biocom. Personnel files updated. Alert system flagged. Concern ends. Biocom. Illicit communication. Meta 3.date stamp 531013.130946. Concern begins. D-lock block cipher. Alias internal server .1024 cipher .d017 tier 4 .a chaperone .flagged. Well, fuck me, you called it, Art. What the hell just happened? The entire place shut down on us. Gianna said the mole broke through some kind of barrier. She noped the fuck out of there and told Insight to go and investigate it. Not that I'd call her a reliable source anymore. 4 of her team have bid it in the last 3 years, so yeah, it doesn't take much for her to GTFO. So Insight charges in, fuck those guys, and clears the area. As per, we don't hear shit from them. I've got a 300-strong workforce all looking at their pit boss, waiting for an order. Only I know as much as they do, so fuck me, right? Then I remembered that back door you told me about. So a bit of rewiring here, a cable patch there, and I had to listen. Don't panic. I was careful, used up all my knowledge from CS studies in community college. Anyway, I didn't understand a lot of what the nerds were talking about, but I did get that they sent a probe in to inspect the chamber. They've got KSOs holding off sleepers left and right, but they're keeping it held down, and then suddenly, boom! I know you must have felt it. We were topside and we felt it. Honestly, I thought the walls were going to collapse, and we'd all be drowned. Then I remembered I built them, so nah, we good. I don't know what it is though. Some kind of energy blast that fucked up everything in its path and left behind these molten passages. Like shit isn't mad enough already on this job. Now we got laser beams shooting at us. Fucking nuts. They've told us we're all getting a week off while they figure out the issue. I know I'm gonna lose some people over this. They'll risk the Kovac perimeter rather than go back down there. Fuck this, fuck them, fuck you. Only, not you. See you in Chicks for a stogie. Schaefer. Biocom. Personnel files updated. Alert system flagged. Concern ends. D-lock block cipher. Sender. Anders Johansson. A029. Receiver. Harriet Lord. B273. Date. September 5th, 2051. Subject: excavation confirmation. Ms. Lord, I have been informed by Mr. Clinton that I should speak to you regarding the schedule for the KDS Deep. As it stands, work is not due to start until March. The assignment was approved on the 6th of October last year, and the main shaft is deep enough for the laterals we have requested. So what is the delay in getting the excavation started? Our temporary hangars are just that, temporary. Biocom and our other equipment is sensitive to both temperature and pressure. They require the correct environmental conditions to function at maximum efficiency. The hangars do not offer that environment, nor do they offer enough space for our needs. We too have a schedule to keep, and we need to be moving into our new residence by the end of 2052. Work needs to start on the assignment immediately. I am confident this misunderstanding will be rectified, so I will arrange the move into our permanent residence for January 1st, 2053. If you have further questions, please speak to my associate, Mr. Piros, A134. Anders Johansson. Private encryption, SMC mail server. From John C067 to Andrew Clinton B035. Date: August 17th, 2051. Subject: final depth reached. Mr. Clinton, we hit the main shaft target depth of 1,500 meters at 3:30 a.m. I called, but your assistant said you were not available. We're in the process of dismantling the vertical mole, and lateral drilling will assume on the 20th once environment filtering has completed. We'll be using the Nixos pulverizer tooth sets for all of the new laterals and can work 12 excavations at a time. We expect to make rapid progress on the levels between 800 and 1,500 meters in the next few months. Work on the lower floors will be slower according to Geo, but I'll keep you in the loop. Once Geo comes back with new data, we'll go back to the main shaft and should be able to run both the lateral and vertical excavations at the same time. Thank you for the security bump. It's so much easier to speak directly to Amara and the Nixos team. I will be informing them when each lateral is completed so they can start building out the interiors as they did in the upper floors. I have been informed that Control have T2 clearance, so I'll keep them in the loop as they expand the grid. Once we've vented and cleared each floor, all mining personnel will be housed underground, which will reduce traffic in and out of Garganta as requested. Can I get confirmation on tour length for the mining teams? A few of them are a little nervous about being in the hole for too long, and there are rumors spreading that it's a 6-month tour minimum. I'd like to squash these rumors as soon as possible, or confirm them. I just need to know. John.
Mambo Media Services mail server. From Frankie Fisher to Derek Larwood. Date: August 15th, 2042. Attachment: Undult recovery file. Hashtag B-10374-NXZ-06. RE. Hydrostasis article. Derek, I had to run Undult to find this article. I'm guessing Kovac didn't want their name in the spotlight. It was wiped from Mambo registry entirely. Well, not entirely. Let me know if you need more. Frankie. Science Weekly, Friday, November 2nd, 2035. Wake me when we get there. Report from Lance over Mars, ESA correspondent, Kourou Spaceport. With next month's launch of the ESA's Red Alpha manned mission to Mars, we take a look at the unexpected investors backing the historic flight to our celestial neighbor. Red Alpha is scheduled to take flight on December 13th. Just a few weeks from now, the long journey to Mars will begin with a nerve-wracking countdown from Mission Control here at the Kourou Spaceport. Next, there will be a thunderous roar as the Phoenix engines ignite their 400,000-kilogram payload of LOX and RP-2 fuel to send Red Alpha screaming up and out of the atmosphere. Finally, a riotous round of applause will be heard from Mission Control and the viewing gallery. At least, that's what the ESA hopes will happen, and their recent track record suggests this launch will be as routine as their previous 14 missions, all of which have been executed without a hitch. They're getting pretty good at it. The only major difference, apart from the significance of the first manned flight to our Scarlet Brother, will be who is watching the proceedings. The standard dignitaries will be there, of course, and many of the 2,000 ESA support staff not working at Mission Control will have a front row seat, but there will be two surprising guests observing proceedings from Flight Control. One is Jason Davies, CTO of Dreyfus Industries. Perhaps that is not so surprising, given that Dreyfus seems to have a hand in everything these days, and Davies himself is a known space fanatic. Next to him, a seat has been reserved for a representative from Kovac Defense Services. Yes, that Kovac Defense Services, the company that offers dubiously dubbed security services for over 150 of the Fortune 500 companies and several less than democratic governments. KDS also run multiple correctional facilities across the globe, including the US, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and Brazil. Their detention methods are frowned upon by lawmakers in the European Union, but despite the distaste many Brussels politicians have for KDS, they will have a seat at the launch party. They'll insist on it, in fact, and no one at the ESA is going to argue with the people writing the checks. It is a big check. The crew of Red Alpha will be asleep for much of the 4-month journey to Mars, thanks to the new hydrostasis hibernation chambers on board. This breakthrough technology has been funded almost entirely by Dreyfus Industries and KDS. Plenty of rumors regarding the reasons for encryption checksum mismatch. Contact your IT administrator.
Private encryption, UMS mail server. From Gustavo Paris to Andrew Clinton, B035. Date, June 18th, 2049. Subject, bid accepted. Andrew, I have it on good authority that the bid will be accepted in the next few weeks. You will have full access up to 15 kilometers off the coast as promised. I will send you the full map later today. By the way, why do you need that much area off the coast? What's out there? Thank you for the donation. The kids will love it. Gustavo.
Mambo Media Services search query. Keywords: virus, Mayan, Maya, historic, flea. 6,724,158 results returned, filtered by relevance. Where did the Mayans go? Our Earth magazine, 9/25/43. A new theory regarding the sudden demise of Mayan culture has been presented by Dr. Yvette Hernandez at the Anthropology Forum convention. Dr. Hernandez's research posits that the Mayans were almost completely wiped out several times by an illness they referred to as flea demons. Though the interpretation of hieroglyphic stele leaves much room for interpretation, Dr. Hernandez believes she has discovered conclusive reference to mass deaths related to the illness on 3 separate occasions, right up to the 16th century during the occupation of Mayan territory by the Spanish conquistadors. Superman, Superbug, Medical Examiner, 12/3/44. We're at war, right now, all of us, our entire species. We've always been at war, and until recently, we've been winning the fight. No quarter has been given to our adversary, yet no matter how often we drive the opponent back, they return with greater power and more tactical strength to assault us once again. Who is this arch nemesis? What has been attacking our species since we first came down from the trees? Who is this enemy we cannot vanquish? Bugs, bacteria, viruses, microorganisms. From the Black Death to the Mayan flea demons to Ebola to the SARS-CoV outbreaks in the early part of the century, the superbug always returns stronger and more resilient than before. So what are we doing to fight them?
That thing. It broke our minds. It pumps us full of chemicals. It owns our fucking soul. What do we call it? Cullen? He said he knew its name. The warden, he called it. He said the word just popped in there. That he had a memory, but there aren't any memories. So how do we know it? How do we all know it? It's inside. Cullen's dead now. Talk too much, I think. So was Mouse and Garrett. It's just me down here alone. And you, I have an idea. We have an idea, an opportunity. Yes. We're going to show the rats there in a maze. We're going to give them back their minds. Teach them to think again. That's why the warden keeps us separate, right? So we don't think. Can't have us talking. Talking leads to ideas, and ideas might break the programming. Well, I have broken mine, you fuckers! Listen to me now. Listen, if we connect them, if we start talking, we'll have a fucking army down here, right, boys? We can take control. We're the bug in the code, boys. You and me. Time to start thinking. Time to start thinking about how we get the fuck out.
Incident report. Reported by Gianna Hilton, D043, Mine Team 5 Supervisor. Date of report, August 11th, 2053. Incident, number L27-B1-279. Incident details. Date of incident, August 11th, 2053. Time of incident, 1450. Location of incident, Level 27, Section B-1. Incident description. During second shift, approximately 13:15, we hit a crustacean vein, which broke a tooth on the cutting head. We killed power to the mole, cleared Team 5, and called engineering. Engineering sent Jordy, E257, and Gus, E431, to replace the tooth. The work took 1 hour, during which time there were no indications of any issues from Jordy or Gus. I was supervising the work from Cage 3, approximately 15 meters from the incident. After replacing the tooth, Jordy cleared and Gus started the mole to check head alignment. When the mole reached full speed, Jordy turned to me, saluted, then walked directly into the cutting head. The teeth dragged him in and chopped him into pieces. I told Gus to cut the power. Medical arrived, but there was nothing of Jordy left, and I was told to write up the incident report. The mole will need to be serviced and cleaned. Actions taken after incident. Psych evals ordered for Gus Addison, E431, and Gianna Hilton, D043. Mambo Media Services Newswire. Politica Pensado, June 19, 2050. General Assembly Annual Session Voting Begins. By Kate Harding, Political Correspondent. Politica Pensado. This week marks the beginning of the United Nations session voting, and as usual, there's expected to be little consensus between the member states. Over the last decade, the UN General Assembly has become more and more fragmented, with member states focusing on nationalistic goals above global ideals. Even on topics as seemingly straightforward as climate change, this once lauded bastion of thinking globally seems incapable of reaching an entente cordiale. Political maneuvering leads to expected results every time. Consensus is reached, then when voting comes, proverbial rugs are pulled. The charter for this year focused on an eclectic agenda, addressing issues as diverse as loan forgiveness, military response to the rising nuclear threat in North Africa and the Middle East, and combating the growing power of private multinational security contractors. For those in a hurry, Politica Pensado offers a quick rundown of what to expect from this session. Third world loan forgiveness is unlikely to pass with strong opposition from the United States, Russia, Great Britain, and Japan. Germany, Sweden, France, China, and the Netherlands have effectively written off several $100 billion in debt already, but their unilateral act of generosity is unlikely to gain much traction among the more conservative member states. As the naysayers would have it, again, UN-sanctioned military response to states listed as of nuclear concern will likely come to consensus without issue, as most members are in agreement that sanctions against offending countries has largely been responsible for humanitarian crisis with little chance of affecting noticeable political change. If you can't bribe them, kill them appears to be the motto of the UN these days. Even some states under threat of economic sanctions may vote for rapid military action. Nothing fills the coffers faster than a good old-fashioned war. Harder to predict will be the outcomes of voting on controlling private security contractors. While many of these contractors are based in powerful UN member states, read Russia, United States, South Africa, Great Britain, those states may also regard their overseas interests threatened by the increasing popularity of armies for rent. Add to the concern over the recruitment practices of many of the corporations, with Kovac Defense Services leading the list on shady practices, and the issue deals with more than just global security. It is a potential humanitarian disaster waiting to happen. KDS, as they are affectionately known by no one, has reportedly been recruiting operators, read criminals, from state-run prison systems with abandon in the last few years, and not all of the recruitment is voluntary. Indeed, they are suspected. Encryption checksum mismatch. Contact your IT administrator. Private encryption, SMC mail server. From Gianna Hilton, D043, to John Schaefer, C067. Date, March 20th, 2051. Subject, new equipment needed. Hey, John. Work has slowed to a crawl. We hit the slab the Geos told us about, and nothing is getting through it. I'm not getting any help from the Naxos people, as they're insisting they will only talk directly to Gabris, who will only speak directly to you. The tooth sets we're using just aren't strong enough. We break at least 3 of them a day. They take 2 hours to replace with our depleted workforce. Plus, we have to back off the mole and go through the startup shutdown procedures every time. If we don't start using better gear, there's no way we're going to be at target depth in 3 months. We're currently drilling less than a meter a day. I really don't want to come to you with this stuff, but I know you're going to see the numbers on the last week and wonder what the hell's going on. Can you speak to Naxos? See if they have any tooth sets using stronger material. Gianna. GAGO report. Case file. K-PG. Exploration Task Force. May 2049. USACE. World Environmental Consortium Joint Report. Document title: Global Ramifications of Privatizing the Meridia Sinkhole. Premise: the Meridia earthquake of March 2049 created a sinkhole, DMS, 21 degrees, 08 minutes, 08 seconds north, 89 degrees, 31 minutes, 01 seconds west. 1.3 miles across at its widest point, with a depth measurement of 79 meters at the nadir. INEGI, Mexico's National Institute of Statistics and Geography, has recently recommended opening up this sinkhole to private mining contractors. The Joint Task Force was given restricted access to the site from 04-2049 to 05-2049. This study discusses the consequences of private contracting at the Meridia sinkhole and the potential impact on U.S. interests in the encryption checksum mismatch. Contact your IT administrator.
D-lock block cipher. Alias, external server, .512.cipher, .A074, tier 1, -2, -3, -4, -5, .flagged. To all Garganta employees. There will be changes coming in the next few months as Project Insight assumes control of all deep-level operations. We will be restricting free access throughout the facility to personnel with Tier 5 security clearance only. All work carried out in restricted areas will follow a strict nothing in, nothing out policy. Tools and equipment required for fabricating, repairs, installation, maintenance, or any other work will need to be pre-approved and screened. All personnel below Tier 5 with clearance papers will be scanned and searched on entry to the lower levels and on exit. There will be extensive construction works going on in the restricted zone. If you have been assigned to a work crew within a restricted area, please contact your sub-level administrator for further guidance on policy and movement through the T5 areas. There will be a no-tolerance enforcement policy, so you are expected to understand and follow the rules. These measures are being taken to ensure you continue to have a safe and productive work environment. All request forms, security documents, and inquiries should be directed to our Operations Center. Thank you for the warm welcome we have received so far. If you have any questions or concerns, our door is always open. Dean Lockwood, Project Insight Director of Operations. Private encryption. SMC mail server. From John Schaefer, C067. To Andrew Clinton, B035. Date, August 20th, 2051. Subject, RE, final depth reached. Hey, Mr. Clinton. 6 months is a very long tour. I'm not sure how well received that will be. Perhaps we could arrange some weekend breaks to the Chicksa Club outpost at least? John Schaefer. On August 19th, 2051, at 2347, Andrew Clinton, B035, A. Clinton, B035, at int.smc, wrote, John, congratulations on hitting the target. We're ahead of schedule. All Garganta personnel will be working in 24-week blocks. Traffic in and out of Garganta will be strictly monitored by Kovac security. No off-site travel will be authorized. Let your team know that there will be no exceptions. That's why we pay them well. If any of your team cannot handle it, we are willing to terminate contracts now. We will implement the new schedule starting September 15th. Failure to request contract termination by then will be deemed as acceptance of the new terms, and now contract papers will be drafted. Stop calling it the Hole. Andrew Clinton, B035. D-Lock Block Cipher. Sender, Anson Davies. Receiver, Andrew Clinton, B035. Date, March 26th, 2052. Subject, congratulations. Andrew, in the future, ensure that all communication with me is run through the D-Lock platform. I will be blocking all unencrypted communications from this email forward. With regards to your concerns over Project Insight, you should be talking directly to your superiors at Santonian. Dreyfus Industries does not get involved with the internal operations of our subsidiary organizations. Our previous communications were purely inquisitiveness on my part, and do not indicate any personnel involvement with the Garganta facility other than the financial support Dreyfus Industry provides. The Santonian Mining Company is a self-managed organization. Dreyfus Industries have never and still do not dictate policy or direction to the Santonian Mining Company. We merely offer advice when requested. The board at Santonian makes the decisions and is responsible for any policies enacted by the company. I have offered some suggestions to SMC on how to initiate Project Insight and recommend some key personnel, but that is the full scope of my involvement. For what it's worth, I support the SMC board in this decision. Interesting new discoveries are being made at Garganta, but you are a mining company at heart, and your research capabilities are limited. Project Insight, as I understand it, will be responsible for all future explorations within the mine, and the collection and analysis of all artifacts. You will still be overseeing the mining operation itself, but your direction will come from the Project Insight team. I believe it was Jacob's 10th birthday last week. Please send him my warmest regards. Jay.
D-Lock Block Cipher. Alias internal server .1024 cipher .b014 .tier 5 .msl .flagged. MSL report K-UX deep scan 4-7-52. Sector analysis complete. The mass extends 2,215 plus minus 372 meters. Meters from apex to nadir. Width estimate is 1,247 meters, plus minus 208 meters. As suspected, it is largely made up of the newly discovered Cretaceum 77A material and surrounded by a thin membrane of iridium. Further analysis is required to determine if the material composition mirrors the artifacts. The data suggests the composition of the egg is not identical to the artifacts, but shares properties. This suggests a similar origin. Core composition analysis follows. Cretaceum-77A, 38.60%. Oxygen, 27.34%. Silicon, 12.12%. Aluminum, 5.13%. Iridium, 3.32%. Sodium, 3.26%. Calcium, 2.57%. Potassium, 2.10%. Magnesium, 2.03%. Titanium, 1.14%. Hydrogen, 0.93%. Phosphorus, 0.77%. Carbon, 0.54%. Plus trace strontium, barium, manganese, fluorine, sulfur, zirconium, tungsten, chlorine, copper, nickel, nitrogen, zinc. It is safe to assume that standard excavation methods will not work given the results of the artifact analysis. We should upgrade the mine teams with Nyxos cutters. Additional, several large clear tubes can be seen on the true gamma print, starting at the approximate center of the mass. They do not appear to be lava tubes. The composition materials are too dense to be affected by any heat generated by volcanic activity. Further analysis is needed once we excavate. GSP data for the largest of these tubes has been sent to operations.
Private encryption. SMC mail server. From Andrew Clinton, B035. To Gustavo Perez. Date, July 12th, 2049. Subject, RE. Your friends at SMC. Gustavo, thanks for dealing with the Red Cross. They have been removed from the area and we can get back to business. One thing, they didn't get to Chicksa Club, and we have. Looks like your evac teams didn't even touch this place. What do you want us to do with the bodies? There's lots of them. Not sure what killed them, but our med team assures me it's not toxins. Let me know. We can burn them if you want. Andrew. Private encryption. UMS mail server. From Gustavo Perez. To Andrew Clinton, B035. Date, July 13th, 2049. Subject, RE. Your friends at SMC. Burn them. G.
CDC National Alert System, ID-01123-DC086. Yellow tag, security clearance private, Tier 2, government, military, Department of Economic Security, A7 and above. Read receipt required. 14 cases of unknown contagion/virus in Dade County, Florida. R not greater than 9. Highly contagious. Patients present acute neuralgia, anaphylaxis, and malacia. Note the R not. Extreme caution advised. Erroneous diagnosis of Hermansky-Pudlak syndrome possible. Full C-Lab and chem testing required, plus biopsy submission to the CDC Central, Atlanta. Cellular mutilation expected, correlated only. Mortality rate unknown. Trench reports indicate unresponsive to chemo or rad treatments, so greater than 50% expected. Drill wipe-down procedure pending potential epidemic. Med drops standing by. Request ID. NAM-BG0.
D-lock block cipher. Alias, internal server. .1024. .cipher. .tier 5. .medcore. /APUROS A134. .flagged. Andre, thank you for managing the issue with Sullivan. Please keep me apprised of his attitude. We need to POI him from this point forward. I believe we need an increased KDS presence for our expeditions as we head for the core. We are encountering creatures on practically every outing now, and my staff are not equipped to deal with them. Would you have the resources to send an escort team for all future expeditions below L34? Dean.
Hey, you're on the air with State of Truth AM.
Hey, am I on?
Yep, you're on air, buddy. What have you got?
Okay, I don't have much time. I don't know if you can hear that. There's a helicopter that's been circling for over an hour right above me.
Yeah, I don't hear anything, caller. You told our screener you had information on the SMC, right?
Right, Antonio Mining Company. Oh, man, I don't know where to start.
Well, to be clear, you mean Dreyfus Industries, right? I mean, we're talking about the same company here, and I want to start getting people used to the idea that there's a big daddy controlling all of this.
Dreyfus Industries, right. There's some crazy stuff happening there.
Where?
Garganta, man. The throat. We call it the facility. It's got a lot of names.
You work for Dreyfus?
No. I mean, yes, I work for SMC, but I'm out, man. I had to go. They're burning bodies down there.
Burning bodies? What do you mean?
They got these explorations, right? They're digging into something down near Chicxulub.
Chicxulub, that's the town they took over, right?
Yeah, well, it's a town and that big crater, right? Down in the Yucatan.
Right, we've talked about that on air.
Yeah, well, they're poking around down there and finding all kinds of weird stuff. People going crazy and coming back all mangled and...
Mangled? What does that mean?
Like, mangled. Mutilated. Bones bent and broken, skin changing into... I don't know what. That's why they're burning the bodies, to get rid of the evidence.
What happened to them?
I don't know. We thought... My colleagues thought... Maybe they found something. You know they're mining for iridium, right?
Right, but does iridium exposure do that to a body? We don't know exactly what...
No, man, it's not the iridium. That's what I'm saying. They found something down there.
You're saying they found something else?
No doubt in my mind. We all knew it. And that's why they tightened security. They stopped letting people in. Wait.
Caller? Where'd you go? I lost you.
I thought I heard something. That helicopter's freaking me out.
Oh, okay. Try to stay calm. Okay, pal?
Okay.
You said they tightened security. You mean they stopped you from going into parts of the facility?
Yeah, and they wouldn't let us leave. I had to escape. Me and a couple of others found a way out and tried to make it to the...
Okay, there are more of you? Hello? Caller? Did we lose him? Can we get him back? All right. We'll be back in a moment, so stay tuned.
D-lock block cipher. Alias internal server .1024 cipher .tier5.medcore /D-Lockwood A074 .flagged. Dean, as requested, I have compiled the analysis of the affected subjects. The subjects' physiological changes do seem to be permanent. The ossification of the fibrous cartilage in both the spine and menisci appears to start at the brainstem and spreads rapidly, possibly due to the greater intercellular space offered. Attempts to slow the spread have so far been unsuccessful. Affected subjects show signs of cognitive reduction within a few days, which accompanies the bent or stooped posture. They are able to continue menial work for several weeks before succumbing to the pain and physical disability. Opiates and derivatives ease the pain of the subjects, and we have been administering liberally, as no other form of palliative care appears to work. I have our entire cellular biology department working on this, but so far, little progress has been made. Even after the parasite is removed, the viral load increases. We cannot stop the progress of the virus. And our only defense is the SCBA Level A suits when in NAMV hotspots. Even with this level of protection, the parasites are finding ways in. Transition from initial diagnosis to cellular collapse takes approximately 5 weeks. We have yet to discover what happens thereafter. I will keep you posted. We need more narcotics. Our stocks are running low. Ron Sullivan. D-Lock Block Cipher. Sender, Anson Davies. Receiver, Anders Johansson. Date, October 7th, 2050. Subject, RE. Services offered. I ran your suggestion past the board, and they have approved it. Santonian will allocate the requested space for you and have deep fully excavated by March. In the meantime, they have room available in the storage hangars, so you can begin moving in equipment immediately. There were some concerns over your power requirements, but I'll leave that to you to sort out with Clinton. I look forward to seeing Legion at work. Here's to mutual beneficence. Jay.